especially if the Democratic Party are even refusing to mobilise their supporters in order to vote to get people back. And obviously that is a concern. But hopefully the Democratic Party at least will, even if they don't, they're not willing to, not willing to have their lawmakers be one of the people to resign, and they're not willing to support it publicly. At least, behind the scenes, hopefully they're willing to mobilise their members in order to get enough votes to get make sure that the right people win.
But I can ask Joe one question. I don't think the Democratic Party can really technically mobilize anybody, right? They don't have the call list like DAB. They don't have very systematic things.
The district council have the call list.
Have the call list,
yeah. The DP changed the saying a little bit.
But they cannot count how many votes they have.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, right?
Yeah, technically.
Yeah. So it's very strange, right?
The call list is calculated. Yeah.
Actually, they are not mobilizing people. They are harming and attacking LSD. They are harming the whole resignation plan. That's what I think right now.
Yeah, I agree with you, actually.
Yeah.
It is a real, they are harming the whole situation, actually.
Yeah.
And, they would try to blame, certain members of LSD or the Civic Party, but actually I would say the blame is on the old guard of the Democratic Party, actually. I can't see any real good reason why they're not willing to support it. And as I said earlier, ultimately it is another form of protest, I think, to bring awareness and of the whole situation, both locally and internationally. And certainly, there would be a lot of coverage if the resignation plan went through with the full backing of all of the Democratic parties, but with the Democratic Party pulling out or not supporting it, obviously it won't be as effective or strong a protest. What do you think, Simon?
There's been another question, I think, which popped up last week, that the those who oppose the mass resignation idea did bring it up. I think it's also worth discussion. They're saying that, okay, of course, one of the common argument we heard all the time is that, okay, what if those candidates lost? What if those members who resigned lost? But of course, this is a non-issue because after all, we have to ask the voters to express their opinions. If they said, "Oh no, we don't like the universal suffrage at the moment," that's fine. I mean, we are respecting the voters, so that's a non-issue. But the question which comes after is this: okay, if the scenario is really that 3, let's say, of 5 or 4 of the 5 ridings, the Pan Democrats lost their votes and lost the by-election, then what would be the voting tendency of the electoral members on the Donald Sands reform? Because you said you would try to reflect what the voters think. So if the voters finally decide that, okay, the returning members lost their seat, so does it mean that it's quite an indication that, okay, a majority, or at least more than half of the voters did not like the idea, maybe sort of siding with Zhang with his political proposal. If we are saying that we are respecting the voters, would the electoral members support Zhang's proposal then, if that's the case? And that question hasn't been really answered yet. So this is quite a question at the moment that we also have to think of an answer.
Yeah, I mean, another issue that has come out in the past week or two is to do with this, with Henry Tang has come out hinting that the government are thinking about altering the basic law to allow functional constituencies, so that Hong Kong won't actually get, even in 2017 or 2020, full universal suffrage. And to me, that's been another bit of news to do with the whole issue of democracy that's been a real concern, actually. Was that? Did you pick that up in the Chinese newspapers at all? That he was talking about that?
Yeah, I read the SMP today. Yeah, and I really have to express my feeling about Democratic Party's potential to give up or compromise to the government. Yeah, because in this newspaper, it's mentioned Democratic Party Chairman Albert Ho confirmed that negotiation between his party and the government were in progress. And he said his party might compromise one condition, that there was a pledge to scrap functional constituency in 2020. If the 6 functional seats, including the 5 proposed district council seats and 1 existing seats. So from this saying, I worry that Democratic Party may compromise with the government.
Yeah, because Donald Tsang, he must be quite happy about what's been going on in the Democratic camp, actually, because it all results in less power, actually, in terms of negotiating with the government. Because Donald Tsang, he's now probably going to try to play different democratic groups off against each other a bit, and perhaps offer them different little things.
One good example was that when Henry Tang was meeting pan-democratic members for Frederick Fung, he met with him alone, one-on-one. But some others, they group them together. Obviously. But of course, if you like to divide groups, you wouldn't do it so obviously, my goodness. So, but he was doing that sort of old school tactics there.
So I think Raymond is very correct. He ignore everything and say, I stay firm. I ignore any negotiation. So, because if you keep your attention on these small little parts, like, okay, he interfered with him alone and we are a group of people, it's not respect. It's useless, isn't it? Yeah. You just stand firm to your theory, stand firm to what you believe.
And you do hear some pan-democrat members were saying that there are rooms for negotiation. Let's say if they abolish the appointment seats in the district council once and for all, would that be good enough? Some people might think that could be discussed. I mean, but of course, if you ask me, functional constituencies should be one of the core issue here. Let's say if we really have the de facto referendum, another issue is what question we are putting on, we are framing the de facto referendum, because there should be only one question, whether there should be universal suffrage in 2012, or another more precise question would be, we can make the referendum question to be whether